Siyata Dishmaya, with the help of Hashem, I want to talk about the Parashas Shavua. Parashas Vayishlach. If you look in the Parasha, it says as follows: Vayovo Yaakov Sholem Shechem. Yaakov Avinu, after he passed the problems with Lavan and with Esau, he came to Shechem complete. His body is healthy, as Rashi says. His money is together. Vayichan Espnei of Shabbos ben Hashmoshes. He gets to the city Shechem, and he sits there and he settles there and he buys a small piece of property there. B'mea Ksito. From who? Miyad b'nei Chamor avi Shechem. The children of Chamor, the father of Shechem. What happens? Vayitzev sham mizbeach vayikro loi el Elohei Yisroel. He built the altar. And then right away the pasuk says, "Vateitze dino baslei asher yodo leYaakov liros b'Yisroel." Chazal teach us that when Yaakov Avinu comes to settle in Yisrael, and he's all settled down, his daughter Dina, the daughter of Leo bas Yaakov, asher yodo leYaakov but bas Leo, Rashi says, and her mother was Yatzonis, the mother was outgoing, a little bit of chutzpah, that she demanded Yaakov to come to her. Okay, she had desire for Kim Shvotim. So Yatzonis bas Yatzonis, Dina also went out, and she started to travel to see Lirois Bivloi Zoret. She also went to see girlfriends. She doesn't want to be in the house alone. She goes out to see the daughters, the girls of the land. What happens? What's such a pirza? Vayar oiso Shechem ben Chamoy. First of all, Shechem ben Chamoy sees her. If she was at home, you wouldn't see her. Kol kvoy bas melech pnimo. A girl has to be inside home. When she's walking around, this creep, Shechem ben Chamoy, saw her. What did he do? Vayikach oiso vayishkav oiso vayaneo. He took her, he slept with her, and he afflicted her. Bedarka shalok kedarka. Right away he raped her. And then what happens? Vatit baknafshoy bedina bas Yaakov. His soul was connected to her, and he loved her. Vayahav esanar vaydaber elev ano. He said to speak to her heart. Chazal teaches what he spoke to. He said, listen, your father is sitting in a small little property, and you have to spend a lot of money to buy it, 100 ksita. If it will be, you get married to me, you get more. You can get the whole city of Shechem and all the fields around. My father, bless his memory, used to say, from here we learn how to handle girls that fall out. Girls that fall out at Bas Beis Yaakov, go walk around, and some Arab or some creep or a religious guy, who knows one, meets them and starts talking to them. And the beautiful, good, sweet, holy daughter of Bas Yaakov, he speaks to her heart, and he says, you can get more than what you get from your father. And the nature of girls, of women, is din, very central. She can get more by this guy than this guy. But just to talk to the daughter of Yaakov like that won't convince her. Only after he degraded her, he slept with her, only then he spoke to her heart. If we speak to her heart before, it wouldn't help. Bas Beis Yaakov, a holy girl like this, wouldn't work. But now she already secondhand. She's degraded. Then he speaks to her heart. He succeeded. This is what my father always used to say in this parasha. We see how they handle girls and how they took her out. Shimon had to kill all Shechem, and she didn't want to leave the house. It says in the end of the pasuk, in the end of that story, they killed Chamor and Shechem, his son. Vayikchu es Dina. They took out Dina out of the house of Shechem. So the Midrash says how they took her out. She didn't want to leave. Shimon had to promise her that he will marry her. See, we said we learn here a big yesod about the nature of girls, of women. How do you handle if they go off the derech, and what's the reason to go off the derech? If they feel they get something else more than a house outside or run out. But if you feel in the house you get more, what happens? You don't have money. You have about this yak or have money. Why you can promise her, by me you get more. You see this guy with a Mercedes, who knows what, BMW, he's a lawyer, clean-cut guy. He's going to give her a lot of physical future. And her father is a ben Torah, doesn't have money, a schlepper. How do you convince a girl not to go with this guy? So you have to promise her love, values, what money brings, happiness, values. You have to speak to the heart of the girl that she would feel she'll get more by you, spiritually, physically, in the end story. And if he made it a reality and she sees clear, she would leave the guy. That's my famous words of my father. I spoke about many times. But now I want to add something which I realized in this parasha that I didn't realize before. It says, V'Yaakov shoma kitim es dino bitoy. Yaakov heard that his daughter was impure, degraded by Shechem, his daughter Dina. His children were in the field, shepherding the sheep. Yaakov was silent until his children will come. And what happened? Look what happened. Before Yaakov speaks to his children, he was waiting to speak to them. Before he gets to speak to them, after Shechem, after Shechem raped Dina, the daughter of Yaakov, and now Yaakov hears about it and he's waiting to talk to his children. Hamor, the father of Shechem, came to speak to Yaakov for his son. Ubnei Yaakov bo min hasodeh. At that time, when he came to speak to Yaakov, the children of Yaakov came back from the field. Keshomom, when they heard this guy speaking to the father, they became very sad, they got very angry, because they broke the rules of the goyim. They goyed themselves not to have arayas after the mabul, after the flood. And they broke the rules of the world, the morality, morals and ethics of the world. Did you think to this sister? So he speaks to them, and they answer him. They deceive him. It says they talk to him be'orma, be'mirma, which they deceived him, cheat him. That's the bris milah, and they killed him. So what does it says in the end? It says in the end, on the third day of the bris milah of the whole city of Shechem, when they are hurting in pain, very strange language. The two children of Yaakov took Shimon and Levi, the two children of Yaakov, Shimon and Levi, the brothers of Dina. They took their sword and they killed. So Chazal medayek. Obviously, Shimon and Levi are the two children of Yaakov. Why does it say Vayikhu Shnei Bnei Yaakov Shimon Levi Achei Dina? It should have said Vayikhu Shimon Levi Achei Dina. Why the two children of Yaakov? Unbelievable. Bonavoy, though his children, the Torah, he is giving a rebuke to Shimon and Yaakov, Shimon and Levi. Bonavoy, though his children. Why we have to tell us now, when they're now doing the act of killing and rescuing the sister, listen, you are the children of Yaakov. They did good. The Rambam says they were allowed to kill the entire Shechem because they broke one of the 7 Noach laws. Everybody, they did what they did, and the entire city didn't rebuke, didn't scream, so deserved death, which means they did right, they were allowed to kill them, halachically. What is the rebuke the children of Yaakov. So Chazal says, even though they were children of Yaakov, Alpha Pikein, Noagu Shimon and Levi. Although they were children of Yaakov, they were Shimon and Levi on their own. You are the son of Yaakov. You're on your own, Shimon and Levi. You acted like Shimon and Levi, which are not your children, not his children. They didn't ask, they didn't take any advice from the father. I want to explain this, something which I understood this time is Yata Dishmayim. Wait a second. What's going on? Yaakov is waiting to talk to them, to tell them what to do. And he, obviously, since he waited for his children, must be that Yaakov understood that the salvation will come through his children. Because he's waiting for them. Now, they heard about it before he spoke to them. And they deceived them and they went out a whole plan. Yaakov didn't speak to them until then. Yaakov didn't agree to them. He rebuked them. No. But they didn't ask advice. What happened in the end? Chazal teach us. Vayikhu es Dino mi beis. That's how they took Dina, they killed Shechem and Hamoyer, and had to take Dina out of the house. Chazal says Shimon had to promise, she didn't want to leave. Shimon had to promise to marry her, and Shaul Bnei Kanaanit came out of that he would marry her in order she would want to leave the house of Shechem and Hamoyer. Vayikhu es Dina be'Shechem, vayetzeyu. You have to take her out. It says the Chazal in Menashe, you have to force her to go out. So we see a big yesod. Although when a person, he has a big problem and his heart is hot and he wants to act, you have to take advice from the Gadol Hador, from the rabbis. The Torah agreed to them. Yaakov didn't disagree because Yaakov saw the plan and he knew what they were doing. It doesn't say in the Torah that they answered B'mir when Yaakov didn't know about it. Because Yaakov was planning to talk to them and he saw that they jumped to a plan before he talked to them. And he didn't say, hey, what is your plan? It doesn't say that in the Torah. It doesn't say no in Chazal and Medrash that he told them off, let's have a different plan. He agreed. It was a good plan. And even it wasn't a complete good because they had to promise to marry her. It didn't work out. They had to force her out. But they didn't ask advice from the rabbi.
And why Yaakov says after Akartem Moisés?
Oh. Then after that, he complains, you brought me to a danger. But Yaakov, before they didn't stop them. Mm-hmm. And what they answered Yaakov? Listen, they made it zoina. They made our sisters, which they broke the rules of Bnei Noach. They deserve death. We have a right to kill them. Yaakov didn't say you're wrong. He agreed. He says you put me in danger. We see from this that obviously Yaakov had a different plan. He flowed with it because he saw it's a plan that's halachically it's okay, but has a danger to it. But Talmidei Chachomim marbim shalom ba'olam. Talmidei Chachomim bring peace in the world. They marbe peace. So one guy told me I had to fight one guy, a legitimate fight, which I held Allah had to fight with him. And he sent me an email saying, Rabbi, you're not a Talmid Chacham. Why? Because Talmidei Chachomim marbim shalom ba'olam. If the fact is that you're not marbe shalom, means you're not a Talmid Chacham. Talmid Chacham has to be more peace. Not a fight. You have a fight. It must be not a Talmid Chacham.
Because it's a Shalom Chov says in the.
Wait a second.
So that's the fight. So
now the fight, and now this guy's my best friend, and the donor of the yeshiva. It's a long story, because I told him I had to fight because he did wrong, whatever the story was. And when he understood he did wrong, and I saved him from doing wrong, he thanked me down deep. He understood I saved him. But the point is, Talmidei Chachomim marbim shalom ba'olam. So Yaakov expected, talking to his children, to have a plan that would take his daughter away from Shechem. Somehow she would feel that was worth it to be by Yaakov more than this guy Crete. They raped her and slept with her against her will and degraded her and spoke to her how to get all the greatest thing. Somehow Yaakov had a plan to convince his daughter Dina that he can give her more than Yaakov, than this creep Shechem and Chamoy. And what happened? Shimon and Levi killed the entire city of Shechem, and that didn't help. She didn't want to leave. They had to come down to the point to convince her that I'll marry you and get more. So what really took her out was not the killing of the city. What took her out was the promising of Shimon marrying the degraded girl, the sister, Dina, half-sister. Dina. Not a half-sister, a full sister, because they both come from Leah. Full sister. That's why the children called Shaul ben Akranit. Before Matan Torah, they married sisters. And only because Shimon promised her, he was able to convince her out. So they could have, without killing, convince her somehow. Probably Yaakov had a different plan, but he went through it because Allah can either deserve death, but it brought danger. And the answer true brings danger, but we have to stand on truth. We have to fight against the breaking of the seven Achad of the whole world agreed to it after the flood, after the Mabul. We have to do it. And after the answer, Yaakov didn't answer back, he agreed. But the Torah does say a rebuke that should have asked advice from the father. And this we learn a very big Yisroel. This is a new thing I'm learning this year. That even though you have to act, and you have a plan, and there's a good plan. But you have a Talmid Chacham, you have to ask advice from a Talmid Chacham. You get a better bracha, it comes out right, it comes out better. You have to have the Dishmaya. You have to ask the Talmid Chacham. You have to have the Godel Ador, Talmid Chacham, what to do. Rabbi telling you what to do. He will tell you the same thing, maybe. But you have to ask a rabbi. And if you ask Yaakov Avinu, you have to ask Eitzah, you have to ask advice. From Yaakov Avinu, you're the children of Yaakov, you have the biggest man on earth. Mekobel HaShechina, chariot to the Shechina in the world. No, you went on your own. He saw the opportunity. The father spoke. He deceived them and he killed them, the whole family, and you took Dina. Good, he had a great plan and it worked. Yaakov was afraid. He greeted them. But if he asked advice, it would be a different story. It will come out in a different way. A more better way. And that's a rebuke. That's a big lesson we have to learn. You have to ask. Always you have a problem. Rabbi, I have a problem. I want to go to work. I want to go back to university or to America. Maybe it's good to do for you. What does you have to do? But ask advice. Ask the rabbi. Don't do on your own. But what the rabbi is better than me? No. He's a Talmid Chacham. He learns Torah all his life. And Shlomo HaMelech says, King Solomon is buried right here, 10 meters away from here. He says a posuk. Kesem befi melech. There is magic in the mouth of the king. That whatever he says, he is like magic and it comes out right. The Gaon Mevina says, who is this king that he has magic in his mouth? The Gaon Mevina says, as the Talmidei Chachomim, the rabbis, that even when you ask a rabbi the wrong way, you give him the wrong information, or you deceive him with information, he has a kesem, he has magic in his mouth. Hashem puts siyata d'ishmaya, and he tells you the right answers. Kesem b'fi melech. Even if, not only if the rabbi made a mistake, no, you deceived the rabbi, he gave the wrong information, he pushed him the wrong way. Still, Hashem puts magic in the mouth of a Talmidei Chacham because they're always connected to God, and they always the whole life they're being the chariot of the Shekhinah of Hashem in the world. That's all what they do. They serve all their life with truth. They serve Hashem, the emes, the entire life, and that's all what they care, and that's their whole being, and they represent Hashem in the world. So even if you bring the information wrong, and the Gaon Mevina brings a whole list of stories in the Gemara that we see. That Talmidei Chachomim rabbis, Man Malchei Rabbanon, who are the kings of the rabbis are the kings. They're kings, which means Hashem puts magic, kesem b'fi melech. Even if they're being deceived, Hashem puts a kesem, he puts some kind of a siyata d'ishmaya, like a magic, and they answer right, what's the right thing. So Hashem here in the Torah said, although the plan of the children of Yaakov worked out right, and in the end Yaakov agreed to it. But they are the children of Yaakov, and they made themselves Shimon and Levi. Achedino, they Moise Nevesh, but they do that on their own. They weren't the children of Yaakov. They didn't ask Eitz or Genes from their father, the Merkova Lashchita. It's a big yisoid. You go out for shidduchim, you have problems in life, you don't know your directions, you have to ask advice from the rabbis of your generations, because Kesem Bifi Melech, and Hashem put that magic and will direct you properly. And if you don't, you're on your own. He takes the consequences. You get rebuked. Hashem wants us. The Gemara in Bobasra says, if somebody has a sick person in his house, Misha Shechoyle Beye Beisoy, Yelech et Talmid Chochem, should go to Talmid Chochem and ask for a bracha. Why you ask for a bracha Talmid Chochem? Speak to Hashem, pray to Hashem. No. Hashem wants you, he brings that machla, that you're going to go about that Talmid Chochem and ask for a bracha Talmid Chochem. It's more Bobasra. Yeshno Yechim. Yelech Talmid Chochem. You have a problem, you go to Talmid Chochem, make advice, direct you. Kesem Bifi Melech. Hashem should give us the bracha that we get advice from the skeni, from the elders, from the Chachomim, and we'll never be stumbled on what we do.